I have been doing a lot of tall games on the channel recently, and I think it is about time we changed it up. So the reason that playing a tall game or watching somebody play a tall game is interesting is because it goes against the way the average player plays CK3. Let me know if I'm projecting here, but when we all first started playing this game, we went around painting the map, and we got incredibly strong doing it, until a couple of unfriendly vassals rose up against us. This happens for a few reasons, but the main one being that we are getting our grubby hands on a lot of domains, and simply put, domains give you power. So today, we are going to be testing this to its limits by playing a game where all we care about is holding as many domains as possible and seeing just how strong this will make us. So my thought process for this start was I need to be able to choose somebody who has only one county to start the game and is surrounded by some pretty big kingdoms or empires, and I think this Croatian county where we have chosen is a perfect place. The first thing we are going to need to do is to declare war on some of these neighbors, and you can see there are a couple people around us where we already have casus bellis on, so we could go ahead and declare war on them right now. However, we only have around 450 men, and these guys are a bit stronger than us. So we're going to have to increase our military strength a little bit first before we can actually declare war on any of our neighbors and get another domain. For our first character,
hello there,
because we will be doing a lot of wars to get to our domain limit quickly, I am going to go down the martial tree. And in the martial tree, I'm going to pick up the authority focus because it gives us a little bit more martial ability, but it also gives us control growth, which after we take some land, we will need to increase the control there as fast as possible. We do have 5 of 5 knights, however, our knights aren't the strongest people in the world. Like this guy at the bottom only has 2 prowess.
Oh brother, this guy stinks!
Since inviting knights into our court is pretty expensive now, as an example, let's look at this guy here is really strong. He would be a perfect knight, but you can see it would cost 110 gold to recruit this guy into my army. I don't really have that much gold to spend on getting a good knight. I'm going to go over here, and I actually have some courtiers, some female courtiers who are unmarried. So what I can do is sort by prowess and then try to find some knights who I don't actually have to pay any money for. So this guy right here, Daniel, you can see he actually has 16 prowess, so he'd be the best knight in my army. He's a bleeder, so he might die in battle. And then let's see, we have some other courtiers too. So now if we look at our knights, you can see already we are looking a lot better with 2 guys with 15, 16, and then 9, 10, and 6. Another thing that I can do in order to get a little bit stronger is actually set up an alliance. I'm going to have to set up an alliance with somebody who's nearby, but also somebody who isn't in a war of their own. Ooh, okay, so these guys are actually very nearby to me, and they have a current military strength of 768. And they will definitely be able to come into all my wars because they are so close.
Excellent.
We could declare war on these guys right over here because they only have 439 troops, which is very similar to us. So I'll declare war on them. It costs 100 piety. So if we look at their military, they only have 4 knights and 200 skirmisher men with a 13-star commander, while our army has a 15 skill commander, 200 bowmen, which do a little bit more damage, and an extra knight. I think that's why it says we'll probably win. However, they are going to get a big defensive bonus from defending in mountains here. So you can see here they're getting a plus 12 from defending in mountains. However, since our bowmen do counter their light footmen, we should win this battle. Very nice. However, you can now see that we aren't strong enough to actually take their land on our own because the fort level is too high. So I'm going to have to call in our allies here. They should join and start helping us take this piece of land. I am going to put my son on a stewardship education because my character will be doing a lot of wars to get land, but hopefully our son will be trying to increase our domain limit so he can take more domains, and to do that we're going to need a high stewardship on him.
Gotcha, bitch!
And one thing we can do, now that we have 100%, but you can see they only have 1 piece of land, so we can ransom this guy for the 39 gold. He will accept that and we'll still be at 100%, so we pretty much just got a free 39 gold from that. And then we can enforce our demands, getting us this lovely county here. Whenever you take a land, it does come at 0 control, but since we have a couple very nice perks here, We even have a tradition, which gives us more control, which is going to be huge. We are going to be making 1.5 control per month in this county, so it should get up to speed very fast, and then we can invade some of these other neighbors. I have 150 gold, so I'm going to spend it on making a barracks. Actually, you know what? Instead of making a barracks, I will make the military camps this time because we do have 200 archers, and this will boost our archer damage. It's 50 gold cheaper, and it only takes 21 months to make, while this would take 3 years. Okay, so I think I'm strong enough to take on this duchy to our northwest.
Fight!
Okay, so we're having a war of sieging right now. I want to take their county. They're trying to take my capital, but you can see they will actually have their siege will be done in 8 months because we only have a fort level 2, while if we look at their siege, you can see they have a fort level 3, so it actually adds 75 to this siege progress bar here. So that's why it would actually take us 9 months to take this land. So it's not worth it for me to just sit here and count on RNG to see if we're going to take it before them. So what I actually will do is run back to my capital here and attack them, because on attacking on this tile here, I will also get some defender bonuses. So we should win this battle if they don't run away first from us coming in.
Why are you running?
Yeah, so right there you saw they decided to run away. And if they moved up on this tile, they would get a bonus from defending a river crossing and defending a mountain. So it definitely wouldn't be worth it for me to attack them there. But one thing I can actually do instead is get another regiment of these bowmen, because it only costs 55 gold, and they will start to replenish in this army as long as it's in my territory. These guys are going to run up here on this mountain tile and do some running around, but in the meantime we will be gaining some more strength. Okay, so here it looks like we will get a win. They still do get bonuses from defending this river crossing, but at least they're not in mountains. So we should get a W if we attack them here. And now if we run over to their county, we should be able to take it. There we go. So we won the siege. We got 17 gold from that. Pretty nice. And we can now enforce our demands, and now we have a third county under our belt. You can already see our army should replenish to over 1,000 men. So we are stronger than this big duchy to our north already, just 7 years from the start of the game and holding 3 counties. Okay, so I have 1,100 troops now, so I think it's safe to declare war on these neighbors of ours. And which county should I take, actually? Interesting. So it looks like this Christian faith, which I've never heard of before, actually has a holy site in this county on the coast. So that could be something that we could make a play for somehow in the future of this game. So I think what I'm going to do is declare war on these guys for this coastal county here. I also bought 10 onagers, so now we will be gaining 1.2 siege progress per day, which will greatly increase the amount of time it takes for us to seize down these county castles. So I can already pick up this hit and run perk, which gives my archers another 30% damage. Okay, so there he was stuck in the perpetual cycle of attacking us. We hit 100%, we can already enforce our demands. So I was going to take a little bit of a break from declaring wars in order to get my control up in these 2 counties and maybe invest some more money into buildings in my lands. However, I noticed these guys to our north, this duchy only has 437 men. So they're really weak, and I could probably attack them. Get a pretty big win where we killed double the amount of men that they killed of us, and we can start invading their land now. So it looks like we have some Greek Orthodox peasants who are trying to rise up against us. That is going to be pretty annoying. I'm not sure if I should run my men, if I should stop seizing this place in order to stop them from taking my county there. I guess I will. I'll attack these guys first, and then run over there and hopefully stop the peasants from taking my land. Ooh, so look at this. The guy who's in charge of that peasant revolt actually has amazing stats, so we are going to demand his conversion and recruit him. Or I guess we won't demand his conversion because he wouldn't accept, but we'll at least recruit him, and we can make him in charge of our military, and he has a commander skill of 29. That is so huge. Okay, so we hit 100% there too, so now we have 5 domains, but this will actually put us above our domain limit. You can see we now have 5 of 4. So one thing I can actually do to stop that is You can see my wife has decent stewardship, so if I go to my council and switch her over to manage domain, that will give us an extra 5 stewardship, which will increase our domain limit to +3, so now we can hold 5 total holdings. Okay, so I just hit above 250 gold, which is what I wanted to be able to create this duchy.
Nice, nice.
So now that we hit our domain limit, I think it's important we start talking about how to raise this domain limit. For every 5 points you go up in stewardship, you actually gain 1 domain limit. Right now you can see my heir, although he is 15, he already has 11 stewardship and he is on a stewardship education focus. So hopefully he will get at least a 3-star stewardship education, which will put him even higher than us. And then I think I will have to break the betrothal for the person he's married right now because her stewardship just is not high enough. We always are going to be wanting to have our wife on managed domain because we'll get a flat out bonus of stewardship proportional to what our wife's stewardship is. And finally, when we become a kingdom, we actually gain another domain limit from that. And then every era, there is a tech down here, which will again increase your domain limit. So take a look at what's going on here in northern Italy. It looks like a peasant revolt was successful, and now you have this peasant leader in charge of all of northern Italy.
What? I told you, we're an anarcho-syndicalist commune.
Okay, I just hatched a devious idea to gain 1 extra domain. So stick with me here. I plan on invading this Italian duchy because this county over here actually has the Cisalpine culture. If we were able to make a hybrid culture with them, we would then have access to our own culture over here where we can be the culture in. But you can also see we would get to choose 5 from these 7 traditions, and some of these are really good, like this mountain homes one would help a lot because we have a lot of counties and mountains. But to be able to form a hybrid culture with these guys, I have to own a piece of land with that culture. What I can do is grant away one of my counties to a local from that culture, which will get the cultural acceptance with the Cisalpine people up very quickly. Right now you can see the acceptance is at 10%. We need to get it to 80 to be able to form a hybrid culture. I do actually want to convert to this religion over here because, like I mentioned before, we actually have a holy site over here in this coastal county that I took. So if I can convert to this religion, I'll be able to build a holy temple in that county, and that'll net me a pretty healthy amount of gold. I would need around 1,000 something piety, and I don't have that right now. So what I'm going to do is actually switch over to the learning lifestyle focus really quickly, and then I'll pick up the first 3 perks in the scholar tree in order to get apostate, which will reduce the conversion cost by 75%. Okay, so I think I'm ready to declare war on these guys.
A few moments later.
Okay, so we hit 100%. So now we have a county with the Cisalpine culture. You'll now see that if we go to grant this to somebody, we have this option to grant it to a local Cisalpine noble, which will increase the cultural acceptance between us and them. So I also just switched my steward to promote cultural acceptance on this county, and now you can see we're getting 0.58 as a yearly chain.
Nani?
Uh-oh, it looks like the Italians have declared war on us with 3,000 men, quite a bit larger than our army, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so it looks like we scared the Italians away because our Kievan allies just came to join this battle. Okay, so this war is going pretty well, but we just got another learning perk, so I can pick up apostate, which should let us convert to this religion. Yeah, so you can see the total cost is 250 only, and we currently have more than that. So I'm going to go ahead and convert to these guys. And now if I look at this coastal barony here, you can see we would actually be able to build the Grand Cathedral in here for only 900 gold, and it would net us 2 tax per month plus 20% holding tax in here, 20% boost to the development growth, and an increase in development, and just a bunch of good stuff. So I'm really excited. We definitely will be saving up for this building once we finish this war. Oh, so actually we invalidated the war by converting because it was a holy war. So I guess that's a nice victory as well. So I divorced my wife and found a new one with 20 stewardship. So now we are gaining plus 10 from having her on manage my domain, and you can see that actually bumps us up to a holding limit of 6 holdings now. So I think what I'm going to do is declare war on these guys to our north. So since they don't have any allies, it shouldn't be too hard. We can actually do a duchy war for the whole thing. So I think I'm going to do that because it'll get me 2 counties pretty easily.
This is where the fun begins.
Nope.
So I decided to stop chasing him and just to take his capital because we should be able to get it before he gets our land there, and that actually brings us to 100%, which is awesome. Disband our army, and now we have those beautiful lands all to ourselves. I have also decided I will move my capital over to this county where we plan on building the special church. You can see from the Grand Cathedral we get a holding tax bonus of 20%, and if you have your capital in a county, you'll see that the capital actually grants you an extra 1 gold per month. So that 1 gold per month will serve us better in this county than it would in any of these other counties. There we go, so we can get started on our Grand Cathedral. It'll be done in 4 years. So right now we have 6 of 6 holdings, and every single one of these holdings is completely on full control. So not only are we making much more gold per month now, but we also have a much stronger military, because again, every one of these counties gives you a certain amount of tax and levies flat out, even if you don't have any buildings in them. Once you have a decent amount of counties under your belt, it is now time to start upgrading them with buildings, because these buildings, as you can see from this county, will greatly influence the amount of tax and levies you get from those counties. So now if you have a lot of counties, all with a lot of buildings in them, that's how you really start seeing an increase in your income, but also in your military strength.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Okay, right there you should see we have a massive new building in our capital, and that is the Grand Cathedral. Look at how big it is. And this building is now going to skyrocket our gold income. You can see we're now making 6.5 gold per month, which is going to help a ton because I'm going to go around and just spend a lot of time upgrading buildings in all these counties we hold. Oh man, I don't know what happened to Bulgaria, but they completely collapsed. They only have 300 men now.
I'm dying. Help me.
So I was looking around for other war targets because I can't actually go on a pilgrimage until I'm out of this war with my ally over here. But I think what I will do is declare a war on Italy because I actually have claims on this region for some reason. So that's pretty much like a free other region I can grant to another Cisalpine person and then increase the cultural acceptance between us. So I will declare war on that because Italy is super weak right now. Yeah, they only have like 100 men. I think we can definitely get away with just a local army so we don't lose too much gold while these guys are up and running. Okay, so we have access to our first Dynastic Legacy, and this is going to be important because I'm pretty sure what I want to do in this situation is just go down the blood, because I want to be able to have genius on all my kids. You can see currently my heir doesn't have anything, but my grandson, his son, has the quick trait. So if we could get genius, which would increase our stewardship, that will give us an extra domain limit right off the bat. But genius will also let us go down these skill trees a lot faster than we are currently doing. Okay, 100%, we can enforce the demands over here. Take this lovely county and grant it away to another local Cisalpine person. And now if we look at the acceptance, it is all the way up at 44. Okay, so we finally hit enough stewardship to be able to get divided attention. So because I do have room for 2 more counties, I will declare a holy war against these guys for their duchy. And with those new onagers, you can see we're making a siege progress of 1.5 per day. So that makes a big difference when some of these other armies we're fighting against don't have any onagers or only have 10 like these guys. Okay, so I beat these guys, and now I get their 2 counties. So you can see our total domains are now 8 of 8. So as my character looks like he's nearing death, I think it's about time we start trying to murder some of our kids. The good thing about our character is he has the sadistic trait, which means I can actually run murder schemes on my own kids. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I can kill my first son.
That was easy.
And it looks like we successfully murdered him. So now we can go ahead and run a scheme on my second son. Okay, here we go. and it looks like we killed our other son as well. So now under the succession tab, you see all our land will go to our oldest son. Okay, so it looks like we killed our kids at the perfect time because our character just died. So now we're playing as our son here, who actually is pretty old himself. I think what I'm going to do with this character is actually just reset his perks. This will stress us out, but what we can do now is go down the domain focus and pick up the architect trait all right away for this character, which means we won't have to grant away any of our counties because we should still be at 8 of 8 counties, which you can see right there. So the next thing I think that we have to worry about is how are we going to take control of a kingdom, because if we were to get a kingdom, that would give us 1 extra domain limit. In Serbia, we only would need 2 more counties. So what I've decided to do is start fabricating a claim on the Bulgarian kingdom here. You can see their military strength isn't that crazy, but they do have a few alliances, which brings up their military strength. So it would be a pretty even fight between me and them. In good news, my second son actually just got cancer, and it looks like he's malnourished.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
If he could go ahead and die, that would actually be pretty good, because then I wouldn't have to disinherit my other son. I'm ready to declare war on Bulgaria, so I'm going to get that started. So it looks like here, with one of my armies, I was able to finish seizing down the county that we declared war for, and the other one was able to go over here and find the Bulgarian army in our land. And if we catch them on this tile, we'll get a huge bonus from defending. You can see we're getting plus 17 from being the defender on this tile.
You fool. You don't stand a chance.
So just like that, we got a massive win, and now we can run all the way over here and hopefully get his other army before they're able to escape. Very nice. And perfect. It looks like our second son actually did die after we cut his leg off, I guess to get rid of the cancer. We will get stressed out from that, but it's okay, because now if we look at our succession, it'll all go to our firstborn. Okay, so we just hit 100%. So we just need one more to finish creating the Kingdom of Serbia. In terms of our current strength, if we look around at some of the empires nearby, you can see the Byzantines have 5,000 men currently. Khazaria is around 3,000. France is kind of falling apart, but they're still at 4,000. And I think Sweden is maybe the strongest at 8k. So again, the challenge of this video is to become the strongest nation in terms of military strength. Considering we have 3,600 men and it is only 51 years since the start of the game, I feel like we're doing a pretty good job. So we just moved into the new era, and I think the first thing I'm going to pick up is Memorialism, because I do want to have access to my duchy buildings this game, because if I build the duchy building, that gives me a ton of gold in this one county where we have this wonder, the royal reserves. That's going to net us another 0.8 tax per month, but that's going to get boosted by our nice bonuses that we have here. Ooh, okay, look at this. So Serbia actually split off from Bulgaria, and they are really, really weak. What I'm going to do is start fabricating a claim on another one of their counties, because if we can get one more county from them, we will actually be able to become a kingdom. Okay, here we go. Let's declare war on these guys. They only have 1,000 men. Look at that. We just hit 100% after one battle. You do love to see it. We just hit 500 gold, so I'm going to go ahead and usurp the Kingdom of Serbia. And now we are a mighty king, so you can see that brought our domain limit up to 9. And now, since we are a kingdom, we get to see our royal court.
They're dead. Every single one of them. And not just the men, but the women. And the children, too.
What's going on with you? What are you talking about?
So this will increase the cost of amenities by 1.6 gold, but it will get us to above 4, which I think is worth it, because you can see at this 4th level here, we get plus 30% to our cultural acceptance. Okay, so this is fun. We have the option to create our first holy order. This is going to be pretty helpful because we are our own religion. So we should be able to call these guys in anytime we do a holy war, which is going to be pretty often. Okay, so it looks like we have enough opinion with some of these neighbors that we can offer them vassalage with religious exemptions, and they will actually accept. I'm going to do that because getting some more vassals will help our total military strength. So there we go, we now just increase our size a pretty healthy amount. Okay, so we finally died as this character, and now we're playing as our son. In terms of our lifestyle, it looks like we went down administrator, which I'm not a fan of, so we're gonna have to reset these perks for some stress, and it looks like we'll be getting a lot of stress from doing that. So what I'm gonna do first actually is go on a little hunt to lower the stress, and then maybe have an exotic feast as well. But you know what, before I do that, it is important if I do this mystical communion, I will get this buff right here, which increases the amount of stress we lose. So now if I go on a hunt, and then after that go on an exotic feast, I will be able to get my stress back down after resetting my perks, which I'm going to go ahead and do. Now you can see we have 9 domain limit. I'm pretty happy with that. If we could get up to 25, that would be ideal, but I don't mind just being 1 domain above my limit. Alright, so we just became obese, which is not good, but what we did do was we finally finished researching Ledger, which gives us +1 domain. So now we can hold 10 of 10 domains again completely safely. No way, so I just I had a 15% chance for this son to join the Holy Order when I asked him, and he actually accepted, which is huge. So now we only have 2 sons, and I'm not sure if I should disinherit this last one. I guess I could, because I do have 1,000 renown. Oh, and there we go, so we died. So now we do get to play as his son, and you can see he already has 10 of 8 for his domain focus, and I'm pretty sure his wife is on assist ruler, so if we switch her over to manage domain, you can see we get him all the way up to 27 stewardship. So he's now at 10 of 9, and it looks like he did not get divided attention just yet. I will put him on domain focus for the extra 3 stewardship, and then when we get divided attention, we'll actually be able to hold 12 holdings as this character, so that's going to be quite big. And since we still have some renown left over, I can move up to the next Dynastic Legacy in the blood tree. So we brought our military strength all the way up to 6,300 men from getting everywhere to full control. But look at this, the Abbasids now have 12k. So we need to at least match those guys before we are done with this challenge video. Right here, you'll see we have 1 available perk, and with this perk, we can pick up divided attention, which means we can now hold 12 whole counties. So for that reason, I'm currently fabricating a claim on the Croatians. So let me go ahead and declare the war. You can see their military strength is a lot lower than ours. Okay, I seem to have caught them on my own tile here, which means we're going to be getting some nice defensive bonuses. So we should win this battle. We should win this battle pretty easily. Okay, so we hit 100% in the first war. I will enforce my demands, and immediately I will go and fabricate a claim on this other county that they have right here. That's kind of splits these 2 pieces of land we have. Currently we have 33 steward ability, so I don't really need this extra +3 stewardship skill. I still will have the same limit if I go down to 30. So for that reason, I'm actually going to switch to scholarship focus, and I plan on picking up open-minded because it's going to increase our cultural acceptance just a little bit more, because I think we are so close to being able to finally merge our cultures with the Cisalpines. But I just don't know exactly how to increase this. Ooh, so I just had a pop-up, and we actually ended our truce early with the Croatians. So now once this finishes, we should be able to declare war on them right away. Yeah, so my newest son actually got the pensive trait, which means we can put him onto a stewardship education. And since our character has pretty decent learning, and I'm currently going down the... And I picked up this pedagogy perk. Hopefully our son will get the 4-star stewardship education with genius, which will make him an amazing steward, and we should be able to hold so many counties with him. Okay, there we go. We hit 100%. So we can now get that next domain. So you can see we just finished a lot of buildings here. I do have quite a bit of money, so I'm just going around and pretty much upgrading every building. I have the chance of every building where I can do an upgrade, I pretty much am at this point. But I'm kind of regretting going for memorialism because this will let me upgrade my economics buildings, which will help my gold income. But my gold income is already so high, I probably should have went for battlements first to be able to upgrade our castles, followed maybe by burrs to upgrade the military buildings in our territory. Okay, we finally hit 80% cultural acceptance. That took way longer than I wanted it to. It was probably a total waste. Like if I just diverged my culture earlier, I could have got this so much sooner. But the reason I wanted to do this was because I would get to unlock a bunch of techs that I didn't unlock yet. But in the time it took to do that, if I was just instead increasing my own development, I probably would have been faster. The other thing I really wanted to do was to switch around some of my traditions, because they actually had a few traditions that I really liked, like this mountain homes one, which actually gives bonuses to the quarry lines of buildings, and we have a ton of mountains in our territories. I also wanted to get rid of this staunch traditionalists fascination. All in all, it's probably not the worst thing, and I'm actually reading right now, I can see why it made it so hard to make a hybrid culture. It's probably because we required 100% more cultural acceptance than we normally would. So normally it's 40, which I guess does make sense now. I'm not used to it being so high at 80. So I think these ones are good. Maybe it would be better to take staunch traditionalists instead of Coney raids, because I don't really like this minus 20% to the siege weapon effectiveness. And I guess honestly, I'll live with this minus 10% on the cultural fascination. So this is what our culture is going to look like. Let's go ahead and form it. I am the culture head, of course. Let's go into a new age. If we look at manorialism, this number here is plus 0.116 right now, which is from all of our Dalmatian counties. But since we hold all of these, we can start increasing the development in them. And that's another thing that I haven't been doing all game, is increasing my development. So you can see we only have 12 development right now, but it's going to be going up super fast because I have been stacking all of these bonuses the entire game, waiting for this moment. Also, in these mountain tiles, you can now see we actually have a reduction in the cost for our men at arms and maintenance because of these quarry buildings. And look at all these mountains in my territory. So we can have a ton of quarries in here, which is going to reduce our costs, the recruitment costs and maintenance costs a bunch. Yes, and it looks like the Hungarian king finally died. So now he has whoever this person is in charge, and they are actually looking really weak. So what we can do is finally declare a holy war on them for a whole duchy. So we can get all this land at once through one war, now that the old king has died and all his alliances broke off, because at one point he was allied to Sweden, who has themselves 9,000 men. So I just took a look at my son, and he doesn't have any traits yet, but already look at these stats. He has 10 in everything and 12 in intrigue. Whoa, okay, so here it looks like they increased their military strength somehow. Let's take a look. And yeah, so they bought 1.5k mercenaries. Oh, and look at this. They have these fancy horse archers, which are actually an amazing unit. They are so good in plains and steppe lands, which is pretty much what this whole region is here. So if we could fight them in the mountains, that would be massive, but I don't think we will get that opportunity. Speaking of this being a holy war, that means I can actually hire my mercenaries, which I completely forgot about. Okay, so I now have my 3 armies grouped up, so I think we are safe to attack these guys on this tile. Wow, so a pretty even battle, but we did kill a little bit more men than we lost, so I have to say that is a decent result for us. We did unlock manorialism, so now we can actually go finally into our capital and we can build one of these economic duchy buildings, and we actually get a pretty good discount on this. That is quite awesome. So we can build this in 6 months and it'll get us plus 0.8 gold, but it'll probably get us a lot more than plus 0.8 because we do have all of these tax benefits stacking in our capital right now. So here I'm replenishing some of my supplies, because these counties over here, these tribal Hungarian counties, are so bad. They only have like 1,000 supply limit. Going into battles with low supplies is like such a recipe for failure. I'd much rather do this. Okay, so right there you can see he actually called in Sweden right at the end of this war, and Sweden has 11,000 men right now, but thankfully we were able to finish that before he could do it. And I gave it over here to this guy with our same religion and culture, so he'll be the one who now has to deal with these other Mongolian vassals we have here. So I just got a perk that this learn on the job perk, which gives you 20% of your counselor's skill ability onto your own, and what that managed to do was bump my stirrup up to 35, meaning we could hold 13 counties now. So I did a quick revoke on one of these secondary castles in one of the counties I hold, so now we are currently holding 13 domains all on our own. So you can see our total troops should now replenish to around 11,000 men, and we are making 40 gold per month. That is so crazy to me. Of the other players in the game, you can see the only other nation that currently has more military strength than us is the Abbasid Empire. You'll see we finished the Royal Forest building in our capital, and now we're making over 10 gold from our one county here. We also are still ripping 3.3 development per month, so we are increasing this quite fast. Ooh, so it looks like we picked up bailiff somehow. I wasn't researching this, so maybe from cultural exposure? And I do have a castle here that I gave to one of my brothers, so I could revoke it from him, but I kind of feel bad doing that. Like, he's our brother. So the other thing I can do is just construct a new castle over here. You can see it would cost 340 gold, take 3 years to do. Not too bad. And then we will have 14 of 14 holdings. Something else I'm kind of thinking of doing is to build some temple holdings. We can't hold these personally, but you can see because we have a special perk for our culture, this one right here, you can see that we get extra piety and renown when constructing temple holdings. Okay, so I just started building 3 temple holdings, so that will net us 450 renown, which is pretty solid considering we are only getting 1.3 per month right now. Okay, and it looks like our son hit 16 and he actually was able to get the 4-star education trait, meaning he's going to be gaining stewardship lifestyle experience super quick, and he gets a boost of +8 stewardship. So he already has 21 stewardship right when he turns 18 because he has the Genius Midas Touch combo. Okay, so I just unlocked the tribal tech of barracks, which lets me upgrade my military buildings to tier 2. So you can see we have a lot of places where we have tier 1 military camps and then barracks buildings. So upgrading all of these is going to grant us a ton more troops. You can see this gives us 75 more men, and then if we upgrade the barracks, we actually get 100 more men, and it increases all the damage of our men at arms. And since they only take 4 months to build, it should be pretty quick for me to go around to all of my baronies and to upgrade them. Okay, so there you go. You can see we finished all of these upgrades to the 2 military buildings I was talking about, and now our military strength will replenish to 13,700 men. Very close to the Abbasids, or I was going to say very close to the Abbasids, but they now have 19k troops. What is happening to these guys? They are so strong. They really do have a big empire though. Like if we compare the size of our lovely Serbian kingdom to the Abbasid Empire, I still think we have a pretty respectable military. Damn, so this sucks. We finished our new castle in this one county. Since we got the infirm trait recently, we actually got -3 stewardship, so we can't even hold it anymore. So I'm gonna have to grant this away to somebody. Man, I gotta love these wife pop-ups. I'm not marrying my son to anybody yet because I'll be dead soon, and then I get to choose who he marries myself. And I don't want him to have too many kids before he's a little bit older. But look at this. It says this lady right here will be a good wife for my son. First of all, she's 34, so already pretty old. She's blind and a lunatic. So I'm not sure how this lady is a good wife, considering she's also shy and gluttonous. Like, what are you thinking, Crusader Kings, when you suggest this lady as a wife for my perfect son and heir? Okay, so it looks like we finally died as this character, and now we're going to play as our son. Let's see which tree he decided to go up. And it looks like he actually did make a good choice here of going down the architect tree, so we will just continue that with a domain focus. But if we put her on managed domain, that actually brings us up to 11. And then once we finish going down this tree and pick up divided attention, we will be able to get 13 of 13 holdings. So I'll hold 2 over my limit for now. It will affect how many units and gold income we have, but I don't think it'll be the end of the world. Okay, only 16 more months and we will be able to upgrade all of our castles finally. Also, we just hit enough perks to get divided attention, meaning we are now at 13 of 13 holdings, bringing our total military up to 13,000 and our gold income to around 40 a month. Okay, there you go. So you can see we just got battlements. So now if we go into all of our castles, you can see we can upgrade them for 400 gold, 15 months, which is really fast. I think normally it's like 3 years to do this. So we'll go ahead and do this in all the castles we can. We will not be able to do this in the counties with a different culture than ours. So I think that means I probably should start converting some of these other counties to this culture so we can finish upgrading all of these lovely castles. Okay, so here you can see we finished all of these castles, and our troops did go up by quite a bit. Look at that. We will now be able to refill to 15,000 men. And look at this. Since we have manorialism already unlocked, we can upgrade all of our economic buildings as well. Oh wow, look, these quarries tier 4 actually give us a 5% reduction in building costs, so that is really good. So I just declared war on the Bulgarians to get another little bit of land here, and I have like half my army raised. And look, we're still making 32 gold per month. It's absolutely crazy. Okay, just like that, we've easily finished that war with the Bulgarians, and we get another county over here. I don't really want to get too big because we don't really need to, considering how strong all 14 of our holdings are. And now that we replenished our troops, look, we're now making 66.6 gold per month, and we almost have 17,000 men. These Hungarians are pretty much easy pickings over here, so I think I'm going to take all of this land at once with a holy war, which means we can actually use our holy order. And I think if we attack them on this tile where they're trying to take my land, we should be able to beat them and get 100% war score from it. So just like that, we got another giant duchy under our control. Okay, so I declared war on the Great Moravians because they only had 2,000 men, but they brought in 6,000 Holy Order members. What's up with that? I guess we can counter them with our own Holy Order, although it is not as strong as theirs. If we are able to catch them here on this tile, we should be able to win. I know our army is far away, but I feel like this should go in our favor. There you go. So I might have made a grave error by leaving my big army here. I was kind of distracted, and I thought we would be able to take this before they brought their army back in. It looks like they will be attacking us. It says we'll probably lose, but I'm not sure if that's true. They will get a defensive bonus from defending in mountains, which is huge. But then again, we also have a 23 level skill level commander. Oof, but they have a guy 33. Okay, so we might actually lose here, but I guess we'll see just how bad it is. And no, look, we're gonna win. See, that's why you can't trust that battle modifier or the battle predictor. And we even killed more than double the amount of men we lost. So I finally caught these guys on a favorable tile where we get the defending advantage, and we should completely obliterate their armies here. Okay, so we finally dealt with these guys, man. They were not going down easy. So we got to seize the whole Duchy of Croatia here. And now you can see our gold is skyrocketed to 78 gold per month, and we can have 20,000 men now. That is what I'm talking about. Okay guys, you'll be happy to hear that old man who was in charge of the Abbasid Empire has finally died, meaning their military strength is now only 18.5 thousand men, which makes us technically the strongest nation in the entire game. That's right, our lovely Kingdom of Serbia with 20,000 men is now the strongest place in the world. Currently, it is 150 years after the game starts, so we did start as one county, and it took us 150 years to become the strongest nation. Probably not the fastest thing in the world. Like, if you're just grabbing land really quickly, you probably could become even stronger. But the thing about this type of play, this wide type of play with a lot of domains, is that I didn't have any problems with my vassals or factions at all, because none of my vassals were ever strong enough to invade us. Most of this military doesn't come from vassals, which is what is the case for something like the Abbasid Empire or the Byzantine Empire. For us, all of our power comes from these holdings, which we have right here. A lot of these holdings are getting us around 1,000 men. So considering we have 14 holdings, if the average is around 1,000 levies, that is 14k levies just from our holdings. Considering we are just 17 months away from Burrs, which will let us upgrade our military buildings, I think I will do that first before I end the video, just to show you how truly strong this type of game can be. Okay, so you can see we just finished a ton of buildings, and look at our military strength. It already went up 2k from that. I even went and built 2 more duchy buildings, the military schools in one and the blacksmiths in another. You'll see our military will now replenish to 2,500 men. And if we take a look at our army, not only do we have a lot of regiments of men-at-arms, but look at this damage. We're getting boosted 88% to our bowmen, 109% to the damage that our pikemen do. Like, look at these things, 50 damage, 48 toughness on our pikemen. That's so good. And then a same thing for the armored footmen. Completely crazy numbers. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode. It was a lot of fun playing a little bit of a wider game. Still not super wide, but you know, wider than the one county and one barony challenges I've been doing a lot of recently. But other than that, I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.